Hello and welcome to a new Crusader Kings 2 DLC. This is Jade Dragon, which is the new DLC which has added in China mechanics and added in a whole bunch of other little changes all over the place. Some things that increase defensive power in wars, some things that give you more war options, all sorts of little changes here and there, which I think is going to lead to a very interesting series and a very interesting game. So, what are we going to be doing this time? Well, we're going to start out going for an achievement. Why do I say we're going to start out? Well, I feel the achievement's going to be fairly easy to achieve, and we're just going to kind of chill, go towards it. We're not going to rush. We're just going to enjoy, soak in the atmosphere, the new music, the new mechanics, and see how things go. The achievement we're going to go for is Sakya Trizin. Now, this requires us to start as this character, so we're off to a good start. We are playing as the correct character in 1066. Which we are in. We have to rule an independent Buddhist king. We have to be an independent Buddhist king or emperor, which we're not. We're currently count level, I believe, because we have no vassals we have no counts underneath us. So yeah, we're currently count level. So we've got a little bit to grow and expand to get up to that point. And we have to control all the Buddhist holy sites. Now, where are the Buddhist holy sites? Well, if we go onto the religion map mode, you'll see that we have one down here. We have a couple over here. We have one all the way over here, kind of in Sunni land a little bit, and one down here in India. So we get to explore a lot of different places to start with, but they're not very spread out. It's not going to be an amazing challenge to get all of these ones, but it's going to be interesting. And the new mechanics may change things because we're very close to the edge of the map, and the new Chinese mechanics may come into it. So let's have a look at Song Empire. So this is the new kind of Chinese mechanics, and I'm not fully tried them out. I've only read the patch notes, which didn't go into a lot of detail, but hopefully we'll figure things out as we go along. So I believe they can be either open or closed. If they're open, then the Silk Road is open and you get a lot of money coming through from China. If they are closed, the Silk Road, I assume, stops making money, which will be bad if a lot of your income comes from that. They're also stable. So stable means the value of the Silk Road is unaffected, and imperial tributaries can raise Chinese regiments to help them in wars. So you can be a tributary of the Song Empire. Now, I believe that says you can't actually attack the Song Empire. It is off map. So the most you can interact is being a tributary. So it's an interesting, different thing there, where you might want to become their tributary because you get different benefits from it. You're able to use them to your advantage. Now, he also has likes and dislikes. So currently he likes his tributaries. So that's good. So it kind of affects your ability to gain grace. So here's basically you can pay tribute and that gives you some grace. Presumably other things also give you grace. I'm not sure what they are, but presumably there are other ways to gain it. But this gains you grace. And then if you have some grace, you can then basically turn it in for a boon. And a boon will be some sort of thing for you. I'm not entirely sure what the blessing would be, but that's something you could ask him for. He also dislikes Muslims currently, so if you were a Muslim and you tried to give him some kind of tribute, presumably it would go down less well. If you asked him for a boon, presumably he wouldn't give you one, or something like that. And maybe your grace would tick down. I'm not entirely sure. And you see there are tributaries and peace deals, basically just to show you what's going on. He does have an actual presence. Now this guy actually exists. He doesn't hold any land currently, but presumably if you're a tributary of the Song Empire, you will be underneath this guy. So we'll see how that works out in the end. And you can also have a look at him and see that he has question marks in all his stats, and you can't like right click on him to interact, no matter how much it says that. You can right click on his children. You can invite his children to court and things like that. But, you know, you gotta work out how you want to do things. I wonder if you were to invite his children to court and then improve their opinion of you, whether when they became emperor that would affect your grace. It'd be interesting if they went to that level of detail. But yeah, you can also go and have a look at their map mode. So their map mode is basically, right now it just says here's their diplomatic range. Presumably it would show tributes and other things on it, but it doesn't do that right now just because it doesn't do that right now. They don't have any tributaries to show. Also, you can view their history here. So, a couple of different things that we can do. We'll see how that goes later. You might also notice that we've got the Siberian Wastes and Sahara Desert over here. What are they doing here? In fact, we have some more deserts all over the place. they are still inaccessible land. They're actually turned on via a game option. They're turned on, I think it's realm-colored wastelands and transparent wastelands. So transparent wastelands are kind of like that. And realm-colored wastelands are if you say control all land around the Sahara Desert, it'll just put your name across it. Which is pretty cool. You know, the objective of every Crusader Kings game is to make your name as big on the map as possible. And that just fulfills that goal 100%. So, who are we? We are, well, we're a small Buddhist, like, count over here, who doesn't really control a lot of land and is surrounded by people who may want to get at him. We do have some options, though. We have a new type of war we could declare. In fact, several new types of war. We can do a ducal conquest. So, what this is, we can go to war, we spend piety and gold to go to war for a duchy that we hold land in. So we can try and expand into that. As long as the duchy has no holder, which is pretty cool. That's a neat thing that we can do. We can spend some of our gold and karma, which we maybe don't need, to gain extra land. So I like that. Also do a new war, which is border dispute. This is very similar, except that it makes people dislike you. It's kind of like a no CB war, which is a very interesting change for Crusader Kings, because it means that you can kind of declare wars without having any reason to, just because you want a county that's next door to you. So it's kind of neat. We'd also do another new type of war, which is established tributary states. Now, tributary states are different than how old tributaries worked. Tributary states pay you 20% of their income. That's less, I believe, than the old tributaries. They do give you some of their levy reinforcements as a tribute, so you can get some of their levy, but you cannot call them to war. So I think levy reinforcements are kind of like they will buff up your levies, like how fast they reinforce. But they won't give you any troops. And they will only break free if the person above them has negative prestige, is not independent, has less realm size than tributary states. So if you're smaller than them, they're going to break free. Or it declines a defensive call to arms. So it's a very interesting kind of different change to tributaries there. There is, I believe, an extort tribute. Now this is pretty much the old tribute. You get 40% tax, you call them to war. This is old tribute style, which we can still do. And we can also do subjugation wars to take land over people next to us, because we're a part of the Indian religions. So that's pretty cool as well. So all of that is cool stuff that we're going to need to work out what we want to do with. We currently don't have any children. We are a monistic feudal. So it's like feudal, except that it doesn't, like, it has a few differences here and there. That doesn't really say anything, but we can hold temples and we can hold castles and we can do things like that, which is neat. We can also build special buildings. But what's nice is if we head up to Buddhist, one, it gives us straightforward learning boost, which I actually didn't know about. But we can have women who hold temple holdings and they don't take negative, so that means we're not worried about a male heir. As long as we can switch our succession type over, we don't care whether we get a male or a female heir. Very nice. And we can have 3 concubines, so that's probably a thing that we should do right away. I'm aiming not to just go mad with children and go into that style of thing, into the conquest, like with lots of children, and then, yeah, I want to kind of build it up a little bit more. I want to just have a smaller number of children, because the game gets too easy. I like to put limitations on it, so I want to aim to have, like, an heir and a spare. That's kind of where we're going with children. And there's also some cool stuff that you can do with the society, in that you can take vows of celibacy in one of the main societies. So that could be a cool way to do it. We get the amount of children we want, we take a vow of celibacy, we can still have the concubines, which will give us the extra prestige, but we don't necessarily have the extra children. So that's a neat path we could potentially take. We do lower fertility just for joining the society, however, so we're not going to do that right now until we actually have children. We do have a few marriages that's suggested to us here. I think we can have a little bit of a longer look around. There's only one that is actually reasonably suggesting the 28-year-old. She's maybe a little bit old for us. Yeah, what was that other thing on marriage? There's a new... Oh, we can make it show us only adults. That's a neat tick box. I knew that they'd added it, but I forgot kind of that they'd added it. Let's have a look at our council. So, we have a couple of powerful vassals. These are our only vassals as well. Are they in the best spots? Because they have to be on our council. So he's probably better at learning. Could we switch him over to our half-brother spot? And our marshal... He's pretty bad at everything. Can I switch you over to our No, I can't. I can't switch him over to that. So, there you go. He has to stay in his current position. Right. What else do we want to do? Probably want to switch around some of these people anyway. So this guy doesn't like us, isn't very good at being a spy master. We could probably replace him. Like, this guy, even though he's not really good at being a spy master, like he's worse, likes us, which in turn just makes him better. Our brother, by the way, in case you wonder why he's not our heir, I did look at this when I was loading up the game to see the current situation. Our brother is a monk, which means that he is disqualified from normal inheritance. What's weird about that is that if we go to laws, he's still in the inheritance list, like for Gavelkind. So he could still get land via Gavelkind, but he can't get it as the primary heir by the looks of it. So, not sure I'm absolutely okay with that, but, you know, that doesn't quite work out for me. But anyway, we need children, is what that's telling me. Spy Master, we could look for someone. Let's do a little bit of searching around. So first of all, we're looking for a man. Well, we don't care. I think Spy Master might have to be a man right now. What's our gender laws? Right, like, so it's traditional. So yeah, pretty much everything's restricted. So yeah, that's fine. We're looking for a man who is not in prison, who is not married, because then he'll be willing to move. Is not a ruler, because that would be ridiculous. Will join our court. Is that it? Maybe I'll go for married as well. Still doesn't give us a great option list. Yeah, that's our whole list of people who fit that will join court. They're both, like, truly awful. So, I'm just going to load an empty filter, get rid of that. So yeah, I think we switch our spy master to someone who doesn't hate us and like, kind of leave it at that. We'll have him scheme. Do we want to hunt apostates? Probably not. What's our religion like? So this is actually our religion, which is nice. We're also on the Silk Road, so we are making a little bit of extra money. So even though our holdings aren't necessarily brilliant, they are making us money. Is this a temple holding or is that a castle? That's a castle. Yeah, we hold castles in both of them. That's fine. And then we have cities underneath us. We don't hold any temples. Although we could, if we get some money, hold some temples. I want you to go and collect taxes. This one's our capital, I think. Yeah, let's... which one's better? Oh, what's also interesting is have a look at our culture. Our culture is really high. Like, our technology is really weird. We have no military tech, but really high cultural tech. Now, we can show this. Previously in the game, the person who had, like, the title that had the highest tech at 1066 was Constantinople. So we're at 12, 18, 24. We check Constantinople. It's 12, 19, 18. So we're well ahead on culture tech. They're really... Like, I would have expected them to have higher military. Maybe nobody has higher military. No, some people over here have higher military. They must have balanced that slightly since, you know, a couple of patches ago, since I last played them. But anyway, the point is, we have huge cultural advances, which actually gives us some interesting things. Our legalism is really high. So we could potentially go for a different type of administration, which I think is one of our first laws that we're going to change. I want to get into late administration. Apparently it costs 100 karma to change domain laws. So, yeah, we're almost there. I want to change our inheritance from Gavelkind to primogenitor. I think that's probably what I want to go with for this series. Don't really like collective Gavelkind. It kind of just bad. I don't really want to make it only males can inherit, because we can have a female ruler without any negatives. So I think that seems fine. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do with our laws. Anyway, yes. The point is I want to decide which one of these provinces to make our capital. I think we're going to change our capital to this one. The reason being is that it's got a Silk Road in it, and then we would also get our stewardship bonus on top of that, which would give us a lot more tax. So I think we're going to switch over here. Yeah. So that's going to make this province worth a ton more. We're also going to make it our crown focus. If I didn't accidentally click into that bit there. We can't make this our crown focus. Why not? All of the following must be one of the following. Oh, we have to be higher than Count to have crown focuses. I didn't know that. It's been a long time since I've been playing a Count. Right, ambition, become king. That's a little bit. It's a little bit on the nose there. I think our first ambition should be groom and heir. That seems like the easiest one, because it gets us fertility. It gives us a chance, more chances of children. Seems like a good idea. Focus. I'm really decided. We'll think about focus later. I think we should find someone to marry first. Let's go for a woman who is not in prison, who is not married, who is not a ruler, who is within diplomatic range. We don't care about join court. We don't care about the religion. They have to be my religion group to marry, but apart from that, we don't care. I do want an adult. Let's see who we've got. So we'll go down the list, see whether there's anybody that we're going to jump out at and say, yep, they're the one we want to marry. We're looking for good genetic traits. We're looking for things that increase fertility. That's good. Midas Touch does increase fertility by quite a lot, as does Great Eminence. Both of those would be reasonable. What's that one? Way of the Dragon. Is well versed on the Way of the Dragon, focusing on perfecting their authority over troops. Interesting. I've not seen that one before. I guess that's a new one. That person's a cannibal. Alright. Definitely not. We got a strong 28-year-old. No, not 28. 26-year-old. That's a reasonable option. I think we're going to go for the younger Midas Touched one, though, because it's going to give us a lot more fertility and give us a lot more chance of getting children. Because if we don't get any children, our game kind of game over. So let's see whether they'll accept. No, why not? Prestige effects. So they're going to get too low prestige for doing that. Will this one accept us? No. They do like us a lot more, but her skills are too high for the person above to let that happen. So what if we went for the strong lady? Would she accept us? Yes. Okay, so we can marry this person from the Outlaws. So this is a mercenary company, so we're not getting any kind of alliance off of this, but it will give us somebody who could potentially give us an heir, which is what we're after. We'll take the prestige hit because we want her stats, so that seems fine. Right. Next one is we still have to set these guys up. I want you to probably train our troops. That would give us 20% levy size, which is probably necessary if we'd probably need to go to war straight away. I do quite like organize the army, but I think it's better later. You're going to collect taxes in our capital to make us even more money on our Silk Road. Right, what else do I want to do? Perform a statecraft is alright. We don't really need it. It's really for lowering threat decay. We don't really need the improved diplomatic relations unless we want to become an ally of someone nearby. Fabricate claims could be useful if we want to attack somewhere without a negative. In fact, we can't currently attack this person. I did have a look because we don't currently, like, she does follow wait, okay, let me have a look here. So yeah, if we were not following the Buddhist religion, I think we could do it, unless I've misunderstood this. Yeah, so we can't really do that holy war unless we have 250 what's it called, karma. Yeah, so what I think I want to do is I want to get a claim on that land because it seems like a very easy bit of land to take, and it's quite near our, like, it seems like a very easy bit of land to take basically. And we won't have a border dispute or anything to take it. No heir of a dynasty. Yes, I'm aware. Do we want to take like something like a family focus? That could be useful. Give us even more fertility bonus. I think that's what we want to go with. We need a designated regent. I would reckon our brother. I mean, he just seems like the obvious choice. He's not in line to succession. He's probably not, gonna backstab us in any way, shape, or form if he's a regent. So we'll put him in there. Court physician, we can get 15. I'm going to put in our brother again. That seems fine to me. Title lost in succession, ruler unmarried. Yes, very aware. Anything else that we need to worry about? Not necessarily. Do you want to declare a day one war? Probably not. Yeah, let's unpause, let the game kind of roll on. So everything's kind of going to kick off at the start of the game a little bit. Should get Crusades very early in because it's the default start of the game, so I expect the Pope over here to attack probably that land. We're getting married. Do we want gold or prestige? We did lose a ton of prestige. I kind of want the gold though, because I think the gold will allow us to potentially push forward a little bit more, like get some buildings going. I think we'll go with that. Right. So let's see what kind of buildings we can get. We could get castle fortifications right now. Yeah, not really going to cut it. Anything on this one? Yeah, not really going to cut it. Who are you at war with? You are in a holy war for Amdo. So it's yeah, so you're in a holy war for that land. You currently have 2.65k troops. You currently have 1.69. Okay, so that's a potentially good place to attack because we could wait for them to go north and attack there. We have this king over to the side with 9,000 troops. That's a scary one. We could potentially swear fealty to them. That's a possibility, but I don't want to do that right now. I think we can stay independent. Same with the queen to our other side. That's 8,000 more. We're kind of in a very bad spot in terms of people around us. The fact that we're Buddhist as well, though, does mean that they don't have as many ways to declare war on us, but it's not ideal. This person's in a de jure war over Lumbini. Are they defending or are they attacking? They are defending, so we could attack in there. We had a good enough war. We could establish a tributary. We could make them a... Why can we not make them a tributary state? We would need to have more prestige to do so. And we would need to be bigger than they are. So we could make them a tribute of us. Which means that they would have to pay us money and would join our wars. Okay. That seems like a reasonable choice overall. That seems like it wouldn't be that bad. So we either want to attack north or we want to attack these people. I think attacking these people for a tributary seems like a good idea. Right, we don't want to wait a little bit though. We'll wait just a few days, see how things go. I want to make sure that everyone has decided where they're going to strike before we actually make our first move. A famous herald, well versed in diplomatic protocols, arrived at our court. He's proposing his services to us, and his chamberlain is saying we can make good use of this man. I do want more men, so we'll get Gael. Let's see if Gael is good at anything. Gael. Wait, there we go. Is his last... Wait. He's Hungrel Gael. I have no idea. Oh, right. So that is, his last name is first. That's weird. Anyway, we can make him a spy master, which is good, because he's actually not awful at the job. He also has an amazing hat, which we are going to have to acquire someday. Right. Let's keep going. News from China. Rumors of the military might of the Song Empire is proving to be a forceful diplomatic tool in and of itself. After what seems like brief negotiations, Kekhad Hunhama Rigsang of Gursi has peacefully agreed to become a tributary state of the Middle Kingdom. Their couriers whisper that they can only hope that the relationship between the chief and the great emperor be a fruitful one. So this guy right here has become the first tributary of China. So what land does he... So he holds this land. So he's decided he's going to be a tributary of China. Interesting. So potentially he's going to be more difficult to attack because he's going to be protected by China, who are off over here. Interesting. Right, do we want to declare a war? Can I get into that point? So there's 3,000 men on here. How many men do they have left? 2,000. Yeah, someone's already attacking this land. So it's in a vassalization war with Gush. That's not really going to work for us. We can attack north. They still have a lot of troops north, but it seems like it could be a good war if we can get that going. We could do a subjugation, but we'd have to have karma. We could make them our tribute, which seems like a potentially good one. Or we can conquest for a single piece of land, although we can't. Can we make them our tribute? We can, yeah. They'll break free upon our death, but that wouldn't be that bad if we took that land. That would give us the ability to push south if we wanted to. I think we want to declare that war. We're a little bit weaker than them. That's the only negative to this plan is we're a little bit weaker than them. Oh yeah, we can set rally points now. That's a new thing. And then I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a like, leaving a comment, a subscription, anything. Basically, it all helps with search ranking, helps the channel grow, helps the series grow, all that kind of rubbish. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.